Awesome, guys. Well, how's everyone doing? 2025 going well so far? Yeah? Good stuff. Quick poll check. Anyone here terrified about AI so far? Oh, it's okay, it's a safe space. You can be open about this. I, for one, I'm freaked out about AI. Good news is that today isn't about AI, even though it's an AI conference. By the way, any startup founders in the house today? Any startup founders? Show of hands. Fantastic. Great. You're in the right place. My talk is about the playbook I've run now a few times to go from zero to Runway without VC money. Quick intro about myself. My name's Omar Farook. I'm a founder of a VC-backed startup called Glorify.com. It's a graphic design tool for marketers, entrepreneurs that helps you scale your creative assets. I recently sold that startup to Lead Pages, and currently I work there as director of product for assets. My whole team transitioned as part of the acquisition there. I'm also building Blitzit on the side. So it's a productivity tool that helps you achieve unwavering flow state. And that's the company I'll be focused on for the most part today and uncover the marketing funnel behind it. I'm also a part-time content creator on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I share stuff sort of behind the scenes of building my startups, the workflows we implement, the products we love and use. So if you are interested in all of this stuff, then do find me. All right, jumping straight into it. In the last 12 months, Blizit has crossed $467,000 in net revenue, of which close to about $4,000 makes up for our recurring revenue at the moment and growing every single day. Now you might be thinking, how are we making so much net revenue with such little MRR? It's simple. We have a higher cost lifetime plan at $97, currently discounted by 20%, alongside a lower cost $499 plan. We also have an annual plan on the back end at $44. And what we do is, we make these plans visible on our site. We can also purchase them directly inside of our desktop app. And we run paid ad campaigns to generate cash flow through the lifetime option. No doubt everyone loves a good deal, right? Don't we all? Yet at the same time, people that enter the funnel, whether through paid ads or organic means, will still opt for the monthly option or annual option, since they prefer not to pay that higher price up front. And this is because likely, if you look at the maths, the lifetime option works out to be about 2 years worth of the recurring option. So people are more than happy to start out with that plan, and oftentimes they'll end up committed to it and pretty much not even bothered to switching over. At the current rate, we're confident by September this year we'll surpass $10,000 in MRR, whilst continuously paying for our overhead. And that's primarily through the lifetime deal campaign, by the way. And we'll also add to our bank balance, which is in a great position to be in, as well as having a safety net. So it's literally a win-win-win situation. So I'm going to divide this session into two parts. Number one, we're going to go over the playbook. And I'll be sharing my journey with how sort of refined this playbook over the years. And session two will be sort of more demo focused, where I'll literally unveil the whole funnel under the hood and share screen showing you how everything is put together. But first, story time. Let's jump in. So my journey began when I graduated in motion design in 2011. I happened to go to uni with Pete over here, so that was fun. I started working various startups, from tech companies to broadcast. Eventually, I stumbled across the Amazon FBA business model. It was the easiest business model that my designer brain could comprehend. Just buying and selling products online. These are white label products that you brand yourself. And I was able to leverage my design skills to get ahead. So I was able to create my own beautiful product galleries. And this allowed me to sell out over all of my products very soon. And this led to me eventually founding an e-commerce focused design agency, which helped others launch products on Amazon and similar marketplaces. And now, as that grew, I saw an opportunity to automate a lot of these services. So I started working on my first software, Glorify. We launched Glorify in late 2019. I had researched the same go-to-market strategy, the go-to-market playbook that I just unveiled earlier. And the landscape was a little bit different then, which I'll get into. But the key USP of this tool was that it was focused on e-commerce, which was booming at that time in 2019. And the differentiation we had was we had a set of e-commerce templates, which was unique. We also were one of the first design tools that had an AI background removal tool embedded into the tool itself. Now, of course, that's a basic feature. You have it native on your iPhone apps, on native to iPhone. But at the time, it was magical, right? And on the first pass of this playbook, we were able to generate close to $600,000 in revenue within a few months. Then that crossed over $1 million in our second year. So exciting stuff, right? Now the question is this playbook for you, and why run a lifetime deal? Now I want to quickly debunk common myths. Some of you guys might be cringing at the idea of a lifetime option. I get it. Recurring revenue is the holy grail. You know, I've heard all of the arguments. You're losing out on potential MRR. Server and API costs are going to catch up eventually. You'll have to support these users forever. All of them valid concerns, for sure. But look, if you look at the maths and you actually make sure that the maths works in your favor, this can really check out, and the model can be extremely favorable to early stage founders. So let's break down how this actually works. If you price your lifetime offer so that it is at least 3x to your LTV, right? Your lifetime value per customer on average. So let's just say your product is $20 per month, and let's assume your users churn on month 3. You're getting $60 per customer, and so on average, that's your LTV per customer. Now, if you 3x that, you get $180, right? And that's your target for a lifetime plan. And of course, you can do it in multiples beyond 3x as well. It could be 4x, 5x, whichever you prefer. But as a baseline, 3x is recommendable. Now, you're basically getting 3x worth of revenue of what a monthly recurring customer would normally pay you in their entire life cycle. So it's a great way of generating cash flow up front. But the important trick here, by the way, is don't price it with these kind of rounded figures like $180. For whatever reason, round numbers just don't convert very well. So instead, I would price it at $197, for example. Slightly higher, but I can almost guarantee it will convert much better than the $180 option. Psychologically, for some reason, it just works. Here's a bunch of high converting numbers I've tested before, which tend to convert. For whatever weird reason, there's a psychological science behind that. You can go research for yourself, right? Take notes, but moving on. Yeah. Moving on. Sorry, my mic moved. Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Yeah, cool. All right. Well, to address usage, this is a big question. Honestly, it's negligible when you look at it. And Glorify is a design tool. So you're talking high usage. Server costs, they're creating images, they're exporting images, there's AI, API. What the issue here is that as software founders, we like to think that people are using our product 24/7, every hour of the day, overclocking all of our features, overclocking all of those API credits. But that's just not how people use software, right? So yeah, you're not going to lose out here. You can guarantee on that. Law of averages always works out in your favor. So there's 4 reasons why you could potentially, the 4 benefits essentially of why you could, benefits that you can gain from launching a lifetime deal. Number 1, you can build 12 months or more runway. Of course, that's time, no doubt, is the most valuable asset for early stage startups. You save 100% of your equity and less headache, of course, of sort of being accountable to VCs, angels. I don't know if you guys have raised VC or angel funding through angels in the past, but you don't want to do that this early on. It's better at the later stage for sure. You just want to focus on your ownership at that point. And another huge benefit is that you gain early adopter customers who's going to give you tons of feedback, which is priceless. And last but not least, once the campaign goes live, which I'll talk about in a moment, you can make your campaign go evergreen. And through the evergreen campaign, you can cover your overhead costs, you can pay for your team, you can grow your recurring revenue in parallel whilst maintaining a 12-month safety net, right? So it's a huge win there. So it's almost like you're seed funding your company via the market, and then you can take that cash flow, reinvest it into product, reinvest into marketing, and then slowly compound and grow your recurring revenue in parallel. Now, I've run this playbook multiple times now. I've coached a few startups to run these, and I still genuinely believe that it's one of the most reliable ways to build Runway before raising capital or without raising at all. Now, jumping into the playbook itself, for lack of a better name for it, this is the lifetime deal and recurring funnel. Now, every time I've run this playbook, as mentioned, it's always yielded results, which is fantastic. And depending on all the variables, there's multiple variables to consider, of course, sometimes wildly successful results, and in other scenarios, less successful results. I've experienced that too, but results nonetheless. So if anything, it's a fantastic way of validating your product in the market, right? So let's go through the prerequisites on your product. Number one, you need to, for this model to work, you need to have a software that optimizes people's workflow. So essentially you make people more successful. Success is the metric here. And what I mean by that is they either make more revenue, make more money, they save more time, or they increase their output, which leads to, of course, saving more time and saving more money, right? Your product must either provide more or existing features to existing contenders, or have a special USP that others don't have. And if you have both of these, then that's a huge win. Number three, ideally you should have broad market appeal. That's just always easier. But if it's super niche, make sure your users are super passionate and they tend to gather in like tribal-like communities, right? I don't have a great example of this, but I don't know, like the gaming community, for example, right? Make it beautiful. Last part here is super important. It's a bonus, but I think it's a huge bonus because again, it makes everything so much more easier. In fact, many companies that we know and love today have won in industries because they differentiated in UI UX alone, right? As a key differentiator. And if you look today anyway, the bar for design is so high, right? That I just believe the scrappy model of launching ugly looking MVPs is dead or dying, right? And especially in this sort of AI era that we live in, you can go from idea to MVP with just a prompt, right? So yeah, I mean, look, we also have all these readily available UI frameworks as well. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be building something that's polished from the beginning in terms of the aesthetic, at least. Now, once your MVP is ready, you can start prepping your campaign assets. You'll need an early access landing page to capture leads. This is generally good to have in place to generate hype, but especially if your product isn't ready yet and you're building behind the scenes, this is great for you to start generating initial interest, no doubt. So it's a no-brainer. If you've already been in the market for a while, and let's say you already have users, but you have large lead base, perhaps there are a lot of people on your free plan, perhaps a large user base who use your app but then churned. This is a great opportunity to now reinvent yourself with potentially a new feature launch, and you can run this playbook to generate more revenue through that batch of users. You can also, so that's the strategy. Now, to get leads, there's a couple of ways to do that. Number one, I recommend if you have a personal brand, that's one of the reasons I got into the content game for myself, is that I wanted to leverage, an easy way to acquire leads, and that's really been helpful. But if you don't have one, that's okay. You can, of course, no-brainer, reach out to influencers. I've seen that work for some people. Or you can have a viral loop campaign. That's something we've tried in the past, where anyone that signs up to your early access page, they get incentivized to refer to other people, then they get bumped up the list, or they unlock bonuses once your deal goes live. I recommend the latter, which is to unlock bonuses in your product versus just getting bumped up the list. I think that's more exciting personally. Now, later you need a direct to purchase landing page. Again, no brainer. Just make this stupid simple. What you want is a simple landing page with a straight call to action to go directly to purchase your offer and access the platform. Make it as frictionless as possible. Now, the page needs a couple of things, 3 things here. A strong promo video. Ideally, I recommend this to be founder-led. So have beautiful product shots baked into that. I'll go into this in session 2. And a visual countdown timer, as well as messaging to just generate FOMO. You need to have FOMO baked into the whole funnel, in fact. Another way to generate FOMO that's not in this point is something I've tried before, is having a progress bar for capped on seats. So if let's say you want to launch a deal to just 1,000 people and cap it at 1,000 people, that's a good way to generate urgency. The other side is genuine social proof. Even if it's just from early beta users, it's a good opportunity to get that, people to give you testimonials, whether it's written or video form. I recommend a combination of both, and you're going to pepper this across your entire landing page. Again, a lot of this stuff is no-brainer, but it's important to reiterate. And finally, you need an affiliate landing page. The platform I recommend that I've used personally, I'm a bit biased here, but Rewardful and Tap Affiliate are fantastic. On the landing page, you need to, of course, make sure that you share the earning opportunity to any potential partner that joins the affiliate program. So you want to make it lucrative as possible, right? And if it's even a low-cost product, we stack the value in terms of, what if you are generating 100 leads per month? This is how much value, how much commissions you can make from that. So make it exciting. And I also add affiliate-related social proof here again, right? So, any affiliates that have worked with you before, if they've had a good experience, put that on the landing page. All right, so next part of this playbook is the go-to-market. So build hype and go live. Now, once your campaign assets are ready and you're good to go live, you can start to go execute your go-to-market motion. The first part is to pick a season. This could be Black Friday, New Year, or whatever fits your audience. It might be specific trigger points where your specific customer avatar would engage with your platform and to decide to buy. So where are those sort of moments where people are in buying mode? That's what you want to pick up on and plan your deal according to that. The second part to this go-to-market motion is hit early adopter communities. Now, for me, these live mostly on Facebook groups. I've been tapping into these niche Facebook group communities for a while. I'll get into this in session 2, but they're sort of an offshoot of the AppSumo crowd. For those who are not familiar with AppSumo, it's a sort of a marketplace for lifetime deal software. And yeah, a lot of the people that you'll find in these groups, they consider themselves pioneers of new tech. So they almost see themselves as investors of your tech. They're not necessarily your target customer, but I'll guarantee you they'll make good use of your product in the early stage and give you feedback. And yeah, a lot of the gatekeepers of these groups, they're going to be, affiliates that you can partner with. So they'll, in return for promoting your product in their groups, they're of course going to take a small commission, but that can drive a good chunk of early sales for you. Now, a couple of things to note, these early adopter communities have evolved a lot in the last couple of years. Now, I'll unpack that later on. Second part is ICP communities. This is more at home. So essentially, where do your ideal customers hang out? That's what you want to pick up on. This could be Discord servers, niche forums, Reddit threads, newsletters, anywhere they spend time. And sometimes it's not necessarily just a community. It could also be a creator or a micro-influencer that has your audience, so just reach out to them. And I also recommend planning a product hunt launch in parallel with your go-to-market campaign for your lifetime deal. And that way you can take advantage of the huge traffic that comes from Product Hunt. There is an agency I work with, and they're called, you can contact Tom at socialgrowthlabs.com. The cool thing about Tom is that they work on a performance basis, right? So it's unless you get to position 3, 2, or 1, you're not going to pay them otherwise, right? Which is fantastic, and they're really legit, right? And the cool thing about them as well is that the way their model works is they work with a range of hunters from the Product Hunt community, and hunters have access to niche communities that could potentially be interested in your platform, right? And that's how we've been able to have a lot of success on Product Hunt, getting to those high ranks on the day. And email. So what you want to be doing is collecting leads through all of this. Of course, as you're launching your early access campaign and your offer goes live, you're going to start to get some leads coming in. You want to hit your list super hard as you get closer to when your deal ends, right? I like to run a sequence of 7 countdown emails, and this would specifically entail a combination of both storytelling, deep founder-led storytelling with a bit of FOMO to encourage people to buy. And finally, don't forget retargeting ads. When your offer goes live, there's going to be tons of, all this valuable traffic that's going to be coming to your landing page. And when you start getting that decent traffic, most people are not going to buy right away, right? No one's going to buy on the first date, no doubt. So once they visit your landing page, you want to hit them back with retargeting ads so that you stay on top of their minds, right? And so when they're ready to buy, they will buy. And we've seen a lot of ROI that comes from specifically retargeting ads. Now, once you've got some cash in, it's time to invest that into scale. So this is the next part of that motion or the playbook. Here, what you want to do is turn your lifetime deal campaign, the landing page, into an evergreen funnel. So all of those winning emails, those winning ad campaigns, the landing page that you launched during your deal campaign, and any of the feedback that you got. You want to repurpose that, improve it, and then turn your campaign into an evergreen campaign. What this means essentially is that you're going to engineer FOMO for every person that enters the funnel. So everyone that enters the funnel, they'll see an exclusive time-limited deal that drives urgency. Now, some people are going to call this fake FOMO, right? But it works, right? And in my opinion, I believe you're giving people a reason to act, right? Companies do it all the time. You're essentially telling that customer that, look, you've got an offer on the table, but we want you to act as fast as we want, and because we want to prioritize people that take us seriously. That's literally what it is. And this strategy has always worked really well for us. Now, one thing to note is that you want to increase your price after your main deal by a smidge, like 10 to 20%, just so that your early batch feel like they still got a good deal, right? Now, what does this entail? There's 4 parts of scale here. You want to rapidly test ad creatives and scale the winning creatives. And by that time, you should have enough data from your retargeting campaigns to know which are your winning ad creatives. So you can double down on those and try to aim for a 2x ROAS. You could get 1.5x. That's minimal, super minimal. 2x is ideal. And every month, rotate your creatives so that you don't get ad fatigue. That's super important. And reinvest most of your profits back into engineering, right? Now, that's super important because as you ship more features to your early adopters, they'll start to become your raving fans, no doubt. And that's the best type of marketing. The bottom of the funnel marketing shouldn't be ignored. So don't just focus on top of funnel. Make sure you're spending time with your customers and giving them value. So the overall idea here with the Evergreen campaign is that you should have made some money during your deal campaign. So that's your safety net. Let's say you raise 100K from your deal campaign. And then once you turn your funnel into Evergreen, you have cash flow, right? And that is sort of the best position to be in because you're covering for your overhead. You can start paying for your team. You can hire, and you can also, start to invest in your ads comfortably. And the minimum that you should aim for is that you should, at least through the ROI of your ads, you should try to break even when looking at your overhead. That's minimum, but if you can also make a small profit margin on top, that's always great as well. So you'll perpetually be doing this Evergreen campaign until your MRR slowly grows in parallel. Now, common mistakes: never make your pricing cheaper than a previous deal because you're just going to disappoint existing users, and you want your early adopters to be on your court. Try to make sure that your tech is not complex. This is something we ran into with Glorify. Glorify, it's super complex tech. It's a graphic design tool. So, we learned the hard way. We struggled a lot. And luckily, we did get acquired in the end, but it wasn't your TechCrunch headline, So avoid tech debt and design debt. That's something, we again learned the hard way. With Blitzit, our new startup, where we've got a clean slate. And so we're making sure that our design is unique, it's timeless, and scalable as well. And the tech stack is a winning tech stack from the beginning. So we're not going to carry any of this tech or design debt with us. It just looks great and scales with every new feature that we add to the product. If your last point is that, I want to hone in on this again. If your product isn't shipping, then your marketing is just noise, right? So what I mean by that is don't overspend on marketing channels versus your engineering, right? Engineering itself is the best type of marketing. Like, that is huge. And if you're shipping to your users, they're going to be happy, they're going to be excited, and they're only going to rave about you to their network. So you can pump as much as you like, again, top of funnel. And if you're not nurturing people on the bottom of funnel by shipping new features, you're missing on that super low effort compound growth of word to mouth, right? So make sure you're shipping. And just to be clear, this model isn't just for indie hackers or bootstrappers. There's plenty of flourishing software companies that run lifetime deals. Here's a bunch of them. These are some of my favorite companies. One company I like to point out is Lightricks. I don't know if you guys have tried the mobile app that they built called Video Leap. Yeah, it's a video app for creators. I use it to create content all the time. Once you sign up for the app, what you'll notice is there's going to be 3 pricing tiers on there. One's going to be a monthly one, another one annual, and then they have a lifetime option, higher price. And I have a gut feeling that they've done the maths on their end, and they've made it multiples of their LTV to make it sustainable, right? So that's how this works. So yeah, this model works. It's not just for getting started, and there's long-term growth strategy in it, and there's definitely merit in it. Now, I'm going to talk about Blitzit's story, and then we'll conclude and we'll go into the demo section. But May 2022, our second son was born. And for the first time in a long time, I was able to switch off from Glorify. And honestly, Glorify was just exhausting me. I was burnt out. I was overworked. So it was a good time for me to kind of switch off and spend quality time in this kind of special time with my family. And now I know if you're a dad, you could relate to this. There's a lot of sort of waiting around when mom and the child is asleep. And so I thought I'll join a design bootcamp during that time. Now I'm a designer, so I already know my way around Figma. But one area that I wanted to level up in was sort of the advanced design systems and prototyping. So I joined a bootcamp to upskill in these areas. And during that bootcamp, I took the opportunity to actually design a productivity tool that I've been dreaming about for years. You know, I had all the ideas in my mind, but I just never, that's okay, Pete. But I just never had the time and the space to actually execute those ideas. And this was an amalgamation of a bunch of productivity tools that I know and I love, but reimagining my own way into Blitzit. And by the end of this bootcamp, I had this fully tactile prototype of Blitzit that's very close to the real thing. And I think that's super important. If you can get a very tactile prototype, it saves all this crazy documentation and hand-holding with your dev team, right? Just make the prototype tell what the devs, what you need to get built, right? And that's always the easiest way. And so I thought, you know what, it'd be really cool once I had this tactile prototype that we actually build this tool. So I showed it to my friend Ronak, who's a colleague and developer and CTO, who has a great team in India. He took a look at it. He fell in love with the tool immediately, the design immediately, and he instantly started brainstorming different approaches for the tech stack. And we had a winning tech stack very early on. And from that moment, we thought, why not we co-found this product together? We're both super busy with our own full-time work, but we can just sort of build this on the side. And that's pretty much it. That's how the story of Blitzit was born. And in the next session, I'm going to actually demo the whole funnel behind it, and we'll unveil that. Cool. All right. So this is Figma. This is the prototype that I did in the bootcamp. So this is where, as a founder, this is where I got the prototype to as an MVP. We now have hired designers to scale the design, but if you can build your design in a way that it's scalable so that anyone that comes on board can continue building and improve and maintain it, is always best. So apply best practices from the beginning, and that's part of the reason why I went through the bootcamp. I'm going to play this prototype so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll demo the app. You can see how close it is to the actual app. So this is the prototype. You can type, add the name of the list, create the list, go into the list. I even did like drag drop. Somewhere here, there's a drag drop function. Maybe this one. Sorry guys, I don't know why this one's not working. But yeah, so a lot of these micro interactions, as you can see, we've got all the little kind of, like all the details were uncovered very early on. I'm gonna go into Blitz mode. This is what Blitz mode looks like. So it's a actionable to-do list, and it's also gamified, right? So we get this nice little fun GIF as you complete tasks. You can see how early you finish the task, and you can move on to the next task. And you can also collapse it, if I can. Oh, that's the, yeah. That's the sort of like the little timer widget that allows you to see, to kind of focus and dial into your task as you run a Pomodoro timer or countdown timer. So that's the prototype. And then I'll show you what we built. Sorry, so many tabs. The maze that it is, my desktop. Okay. I'm a huge believer in dog fooding, by the way. I use my product every single day. Oh, the workshop. That's due now. So that's apparently the event. We've integrated with Google Calendar, by the way, recently. So that's why this is just automated and open up my event details. I'm going to close that. yeah, I'm behind on a lot of tasks. But yeah, it's a combination of my professional work, my personal tasks, and that's a live task. I can make any of these tasks go live at any point, as you can see. And as I complete a task, we've got like these fun GIFs. I can take a break at any point and just continue gaining momentum. So the idea is to get people into flow state and just continue to gain momentum as they progress through their day. Yeah, a bunch of cool stuff that we have as well is that you can take notes on the go. This is my meeting notes for today. And we've recently integrated with Notion. We've also integrated with Google Calendar. What else do we have? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we've got reports. So you can see your productivity trends and how you're performing, what's your best, most productive hour of the day, how things have progressed over the days. So yeah, I think I'm doing okay, more or less. So that's Blitzit in a nutshell. I will go into like go-to-market very quickly. Going back into Figma. What time is it? So I've got 5 minutes on the clock. I'll try to leave a couple of minutes for Q&A. But this is the funnel. So when we started, we spoke about early access. We launched this very basic early access landing page on Framer. If I show you that page, it looks a little bit like, well, this is what it was at the time. The actual home website has evolved a lot since then. So you don't need anything substantial in the beginning. Just get it out there. And we started collecting leads between my personal brand and all the various channels. I think we collected close to 20,000 leads. So it's a good position to then launch. The homepage today looks like this, which is a bit more of an improvement, as you can see. The cool thing about Framer is you can create all these beautiful interactions and just make it really high fidelity. And so all the sections, what I recommend is top fold, one key headline that just tells exactly what your tool does and the benefits of it, and then how it works, and then all of the features, again, communicated in benefits. Social proof, work with creators, content creators. We work with content creators. We get commercial licensing with them so we can actually run this content as ads. Super important because that's how you can get lots of traction. These ad creatives tend to convert really well. So we were investing in ad creators really early on. And then there's the lifetime pricing. People can buy the lifetime pricing. Again, I spoke about low barrier entry, frictionless as possible. People can purchase directly from here. Social proof, collecting as we go along. Every year, we just revisit this and add more testimonials from here. And then be public about your roadmap. Be very intentional about what you're building in the future because people will buy into your vision. Mobile apps coming out soon. And so that's really the kind of the high level in terms of what you want to execute eventually. But we went from early access from lead capture. And what I call this is a progressive funnel hacking framework where you start somewhere and you keep evolving, right? So this was the next phase of improvement. Still a lead capture. Our product wasn't out yet. We were capturing leads, but we had an improved landing page because by then I had an alpha. I can actually showcase real product shots. So it was improvement. So keep improving as you continue. And then you gain momentum, right? And it's self-fulfilling almost as you gain momentum. The first launch that we did at Blitzit, we applied the same playbook. Wasn't huge revenue. By the end of New Year, we closed at close to $20,000. Never give up because the following year, we ran the same playbook and that was the result. This was the results, right? So a big upgrade, right? And so if you keep running this playbook within those different kind of high purchase seasons for your audience type, you'll notice that at every point, you're going to just see an improvement in terms of uptick in terms of revenue as well. The funnel also improves as well because this was a very basic funnel. There's no tracking implemented. And the new funnel that we've implemented, we have all of these trigger pages to track conversion points, right? For us at Blitzit, it's a downloadable app. So you can see people click the download button. So we want to track that. We want to know when leads come to the page, how many of them actually click the download page, how many people actually download the app, how many people actually install the app. Even when people install the application, we throw up a landing page to track that event. So we know people have actually installed the app, right? And that's reflected in this funnel over here. So tracking leads, tracking that they started a trial. All of this is super important, right? And then, yeah, the tracking the purchases of monthly and lifetime options as well. The other thing I want to quickly show you guys is onboarding. The key part of making sure that people buy once they first try your application is making sure that you push people towards that aha moment. Let me see if I can show you that very quickly. I've got, go to the Yopmail. Great, okay, so I'm gonna sign up to the app for the first time, and you'll notice code, login. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. So Omar test. Remember I spoke about FOMO? We're still on our Evergreen campaign, right? So we have that timer. This is how much time we give people to purchase the offer. And then we have the aha moment via the onboarding. Yeah, via the onboarding. So if I create a list, from here, we get them to open the list. We then guide them to kind of make it a clear space. We then guide them to click Blitz now, and then we get them to mark the task as done. So that's like a clear success point for a user. They're like, oh, this is how it works. This is how I get value from the product. Click next. We get them to go in focus mode. We get them to say, mark it as done. And again, we get them to take a break. So they get the whole product experience via the tour. And that really creates that aha moment to then decide, you know what, I want to subscribe long-term. I want to be part of the vision. And we also encourage them to later on, via the Help Center, join our Discord community. And this is where the bottom of funnel work happens, right? So you have that top of funnel, generating cash flow, generating leads, getting people to buy. And then people start to trickle into Discord, and they hang out. They introduce themselves. We recently crossed 3,000 members on Discord, and it's been great.